Hi, I'm Andrei Mincov, the founder of Trademark Factory, and in this video I'm going to share my thoughts about yet another trademarking screw-up. This time around it's PepsiCo fighting a Moonshine Distillery over the Mountain Dew trademark. Alright, I'll start by reading the article. There is a lot. And I'll give my comments as we go and also at the end, and you can always find the link in the description below. Let's do this. So, PepsiCo, one of the world's largest food companies, is in a legal battle with a Tennessee distillery, Old Smoky Moonshine, over the distillery's trademark application for the term Mountain Dew. As you'll see, it's actually not just Mountain Dew, but we'll get there in a second. PepsiCo filed a notice of opposition with a trademark trial and appeal board in 2016, opposing Old Smoky's trademark for Old Smoky Mountain Dew Moonshine. Okay, so they had to oppose it because, as you see, it's a longer name, right? So Old Smoky Mountain Dew Moonshine. The US Trademarks and the Patent Office didn't think it was too close to what PepsiCo owned. Otherwise, they wouldn't have approved it for publication. The reason PepsiCo had to oppose it is because it went through the trademark examiner with USPTO. So that's why they opposed. Now, PepsiCo said that its products are sold in almost every supermarket in the United States and that it has built up a very high level of consumer and trade recognition symbolized by PepsiCo's marks. That's true. PepsiCo went on to say that Old Smoky's use of Mountain Dew would be likely to cause confusion, to cause mistake, or to deceive with consequent injury to PepsiCo. I could see that. PepsiCo added that they will be damaged if Old Smoky were to be granted a Mountain Dew trademark. Mountain Dew is one of the world's most iconic and recognized brands and has been since it was established more than 70 years ago. A spokesperson for PepsiCo's Mountain Dew said in a statement to ABC News, "The planned unauthorized use of Mountain Dew by another party violates PepsiCo's trademark rights and we must vigorously protect our brand." Yes. So this picture is logo of the alcoholic Mountain Dew that was sold by John W. McCullough in the late 1800s. So we're going to get there in a second, but this is how it looked like. Old Smoky's founder, Joe Baker, told ABC News that Mountain Dew has long been a synonym for the alcoholic beverage moonshine and that the drink has had ties to the Appalachian Mountain region, which includes Tennessee, Kentucky, and Georgia, since before Prohibition began in 1920. That's important. In a response to PepsiCo's notice on the USPTO's website, Old Smoky argues that Mountain Dew was first used as a trademark for a distilled spirits product around 1890 by John W. McCullough and cited an article from 1897 referring to the spirit and a permit from the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, which granted McCullough the sole right to the use of the Mountain Dew name on distilled spirits. Okay, so let's assume that this is true. They've established that in the late 1800s, early 1900s, this McCullough guy owned the brand Mountain Dew for moonshine. Okay, this is Old Smoky, Tennessee Moonshine Distillery. All right, looks good. So McCullough incorporated his distillery in 1900 and renamed it Green River Distilling Company according to a declaration filed by McCullough's great-grandson, Robert McCullough, to the USPTO. Okay, again, we're not arguing. In early 1900, you have it. All right. Although the distillery would close down during Prohibition, they closed down during Prohibition. So although they closed down during Prohibition, Robert McCullough told ABC News that he began the process in Kentucky of restarting Mountain Dew in 2004 with the intention of partnering with PepsiCo to sell his alcoholic Mountain Dew. But PepsiCo denied the request. I wonder why. In case you're wondering, Prohibition ended 71 years before Robert McCullough decided to restart Mountain Dew in Kentucky. He needed 71 years to realize, whoa, Prohibition is over. I might restart my brand. Right? And so he suddenly had this intention of restarting the brand in 2004, and he reached out to PepsiCo. I'm sure it was just a pure coincidence that by the time PepsiCo became a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, and they say, well, why don't we guys partner up? We'll be selling alcoholic Mountain Dew, and you'll be selling non-alcoholic Mountain Dew. What do you think about this partnership? Said Robert McCullough. And PepsiCo said, let me think about it. No. I wonder why. Alright, a few years later, in 2009, changes in Tennessee's liquor laws allowed moonshine to be legally produced and sold there. Great. Perfect. In 2015, he sold the rights and goodwill of the trademark for Mountain Dew for distilled spirits to Old Smoky Distillery LLC through his company McCullough Pre-Prohibition Brands LLC, according to the response. So, McCullough guy took 71 years to realize Prohibition was over, reached out to Pepsi. PepsiCo said, nah, we probably don't want to do this partnership. There's something wrong with that. And so he waited 11 more years and then sold the brand to this Old Smoky Distillery. All right? Makes a lot of sense. In 2015, after Old Smoky Moonshine bought the trademark from Robert, they filed an application to trademark Old Smoky Mountain Dew Moonshine for distilled spirits. Okay, so that's the story. PepsiCo holds over 20 trademarks for Mountain Dew with different variations of spelling for non-alcoholic beverages, cooking sauces, clothing, and headphones, among other categories. PepsiCo argued in its filing that its use of the Mountain Dew trademarks have been continuous and they have not been abandoned. And because of this, consumers have become accustomed to associating the Mountain Dew name with PepsiCo's products. Well, yeah, it's said that PepsiCo's Mountain Dew trademarks have become famous, representing assets of enormous goodwill and of inestimable value to PepsiCo, and I would agree with that. While PepsiCo claims Old Smoky Distillery will cause confusion among consumers, Baker said it's actually PepsiCo that caused the confusion in the marketplace first. So PepsiCo has a history of linking its Mountain Dew soda to spirits distilled in the mountains, Baker said. He pointed to PepsiCo selling Mountain Dew in the 1960s in glass bottles labeled with images of the soda brand's mascot, Willie the Hillbilly, and his gun. In 1966, the first TV commercial for Mountain Dew featured a Willie the Hillbilly and other people in a mountain region to the backdrop of bluegrass music. So that's the bottles, and that's the Willie the Hillbilly. In 2015, PepsiCo also released a non-alcoholic beverage called Mountain Dew Shine, a clear citrus-flavored soda that came in a glass bottle or a clear glass jug. In the press release announcing Dew Shine, PepsiCo touched on the history of Mountain Dew, saying the legacy of Dew began in the backwoods of Tennessee, where a few rebels created and poured the very first batch of Mountain Dew into glass bottles. The Do Shine labels featured Willie the Hillbilly and said non-alcoholic. When they were marketed on TV, the commercial said the Do Shine was available legally for the first time. Old Smoky writes in their counterclaim that the term shine is often used as a shortened version of the word moonshine, and that PepsiCo's use of available legally for the first time suggests that the product is actual moonshine. There's no doubt they're playing on the idea of moonshine culture. It could be confusing, Baker said. It's a play on the historical elements of spirits. Well, yeah, they are playing on that. That's no question about that. But whether the people are going to be confused is a different issue. In response to Old Smoky's claim that Do Shine could be confusing to consumers, PepsiCo denied in a court argument that Do Shine was misdescriptive. Baker, who said he was surprised by PepsiCo's filing, hopes that the two companies can resolve their dispute so that they can both sell their Mountain Dew products. Ain't gonna happen. My goal would be we can peacefully exist with Pepsi since our products are different, Baker said. I hope we can call our moonshine Mountain Dew same way it's been called Mountain Dew since as far as I can remember. Hopefully, they can exist in a market that's not confusing to consumers and can each be celebrated. Now, think about this. Imagine an alcoholic version of Coca-Cola sold by anybody other than Coca-Cola. Not gonna happen. Imagine a non-alcoholic version of Johnny Walker sold by anybody other than Johnny Walker. Not gonna happen. Same reason you can't have the same name for alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, especially if one of them is so famous. All right, you can finish reading the article yourself, but here's what I wanted to add. The government screwed everything up again. If it wasn't for the prohibition, none of this would be an issue. If some bright mind in the government didn't decide that they suddenly needed to tell people how to live their lives, what people could buy, what they couldn't buy, what they could drink, what they couldn't drink, if they didn't think that they should be regulating people's private lives and their private decisions of free people, none of that would have happened. It would have been a mundane trademarking dispute that was done the other way around, because the distillery started in late 1800s, built a brand, built a bigger brand, and then suddenly they noticed that there's this other companies trying to create a non-alcoholic version of that. They would say, uh-oh, that's our brand, you're infringing, stop that, and if you don't, we're going to sue you. That would have been the end of the conversation. But because of prohibition, what happened is the original distillery was not selling their drinks, and by not selling their drinks, they couldn't claim trademark rights. So they lost those trademark rights, and by the time PepsiCo decided to pick it up, they weren't there. So there wasn't anybody who could sue PepsiCo when they were starting out. So from there, PepsiCo has been using this brand for many years, investing billions and billions of dollars and making billions and billions of dollars. And so everybody knows Mountain Dew as a drink that's being sold by PepsiCo. So now, when this new company decided to recreate what was originally done in the late 1800s, right now they're facing a trademark, actually 20 trademarks as the article says, that are active, that are actively in use, that are all non-contestable. So I don't think that this distillery is going to have any luck. And look, as somebody who's known for despising government regulation, as somebody who despises socialism and all of these policies where the government takes a role that it shouldn't play, where the government again takes the role of telling free people what they can and cannot voluntarily agree to. I'm totally against that, but the problem that I see with this is the 71 years that it took Robert McCullough, after Prohibition was over, to say, this actually was a pretty good brand. I think we should revive it. So I think if anything kills this dispute, if anything will lead to the decision one way or the other, it would be the length of time that it took the distillery to wake up and say there was value in this brand. Because the way it looks now is that they're just being opportunistic and just wanting to go and get something, get a settlement out of the multi-billion-dollar company. That's the way it looks like. And look, with litigation, it's never about the letter of the law. It's always about policy. It's always about who has the better story, and it's always about what should we do, what would be the fairer decision, and then they come up with the statutes and cases that would justify the decision they've already made. So in this case, their decision would be, what do? Do we deprive PepsiCo of their monopoly on the name and allow somebody else to compete with them with their alcoholic version? Or do we say, you know what, you should have thought about it before. You should have thought about it when PepsiCo was small and weren't selling, you know, billions of dollars worth of their drinks. And that you had all the opportunity for 71 years. You didn't do it. Bye-bye. I think that's really what's going to happen. And I think that's what's going to seal the fate of this lawsuit. We'll see. And if anything comes out of that, you'll be the first to know. If you found this video interesting, if you found it useful, subscribe right now. Get notified whenever the next video goes live. Click that bell button, because when you subscribe and don't click the bell button, sometimes you would miss the new videos as they are posted. And I post these videos every day. Now, if you got a brand that you want to protect, whether you like alcoholic drinks, whether you like moonshine, whether you like Mountain Dew non-alcoholic, whether you like Pepsi, whether you like Coke, whatever you like, whether you like the government regulation, whether you don't, doesn't matter. If you run a business and you hope to be successful with that business, you gotta protect your brand. So if that's you, go to trademarkfactory.com, book a call with our strategy advisors, and they'll help you get the process started. And until then, I'll see you in the next video.